I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. All right, so we've been talking about landing a remote job for a while now, but the one thing you're probably most curious about is how to learn the online skills you need to land these jobs. I'm not just talking about getting a brief introduction, but learning from actual accredited schools so you can be taken seriously when you apply for these jobs. You've been waiting for a while, and I'm really sorry about that, but I have finally created a whole page listing the best courses to take, from teaching English online to becoming a freelance writer and so much more, all from trusted sources that will get you that remote job. So if you're ready and serious to take the next step, then visit theoffbeatlife.com/learn online skills to get started. Again, you can visit theoffbeatlife.com/learn online skills to get started. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here for this extended interview with Claire, where she's going to talk to us about how to make money from a blog without social media. Hey Claire, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being here again. We're really excited to talk to you. Before we get to all of your tips and tricks, can you tell us about you and why you live an offbeat life?
So I left the UK back in 2017. I was 34 and I sold everything and just bought one-way ticket to Guatemala with like £1,000 in my bank. No real plan. Yay. And I'm still here like however many, 5 years later, working as a full-time blogger these days, living in Mexico. So yeah, that's me.
You're still out here. You survived the pandemic. You're gonna be a new mom. Like, you're doing it. You're okay.
I even survived a year of teaching English online, getting up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, I've done it all. Anything I could do online to make money, I was there.
That's what you got to do. And also, if you guys want to hear more about Claire's story, make sure to check out the initial interview, because she goes more into detail with that and what she did to make money before she started her blog that is now super successful. She's making money from it. And it's really interesting. And I really wanted to talk to you about this, Claire, because there is a lot of misconception with people that you have to be everywhere to create income from your blog, right? You have to be on Instagram, on TikTok, on all of these different platforms, but you're saying no, like, you can make money even if you're not on everything. So can you tell us about that and how you actually grow and create all of this traffic for yourself without using social media?
So when I first started blogging, I really believed that you had to be everywhere. I had Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, everything. And I think maybe a couple of years ago, I mean, things are different now as well. Like the social networks are flooded with people, and flooded people who want to be influencers. Like, it's just the way it is. Pinterest used to be an amazing search engine and a great place to get traffic. And it's kind of lumped in with the social media networks. But honestly, it's just died a death the past year, and people who heavily relied on Pinterest for traffic have bottomed out, and it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. And for the first couple of years, I definitely focused on social media as a way to get people onto my blog. So I would write content, I would share it on all the social networks, and then I would sit back and hope that Facebook gods would bless me and I would get some traffic. And it just never really worked for me. It just never really took off. And I also really didn't enjoy it. And then I would hire people to do stuff. I would hire people to do Pinterest. I would hire people to do Instagram. And I felt like I was just burning money because I wasn't seeing any return for my money. But the only place that I was getting any return was from SEO. So basically search engine optimization. So writing content, and the first articles that kind of got to that first page in Google were completely fluke. And then it was from there I was able to kind of look at it, start studying SEO, start learning about it, and then really focusing in on editing old stuff, not even writing any new content, focusing on old stuff to improve the SEO and get the rankings up. And now I work in a very strategic way that I'm planning a road trip in a week's time. And before I even go on that road trip, I will have done all of my keyword research, planned out what articles I'm going to write. So when I go and I'm traveling, I know exactly what I need to get, what content I need to get, so that I'm writing about stuff that people are actually searching for. And it's going to be useful to people and I'm not wasting my time. And that is how you get the return. Like from my blog, I think it's over 80%, possibly even 85% is from Google and from search engines, and 15% is from social. And I don't really share anything on social, so that's more people sharing my stuff. Honestly, I haven't shared a blog post on Facebook for a long time.
Yeah.
I think maybe I shared them about yoga retreats a few weeks ago. I just don't do it. It's not, I don't have a strategic plan to do it. I used to, but now I'm just too lazy and I don't see any returns. So I'm like, nah, if I want to go on Instagram, I'm going to go on there, but I don't do it as a way that I think I'm going to get a return for my business from it. It's more of a fun thing to do.
Yeah. And, and we talked about this before we hit record, in that, I've interviewed some of the biggest bloggers, travel bloggers in the industry, and other bloggers as well. And most of them don't really put a lot of effort on social media, and not because they're big and they don't need it, but because, like you're mentioning, they don't really get a lot of returns. And they rely more on SEO. And before Pinterest, like you mentioned, Pinterest was really great. And I do have to agree on that. We were using on my blog Pinterest. And then, like you said, they were doing a lot of changes recently. What is it that they're doing now? It's like they actually don't want people to click out. Like they want them to stay on Pinterest. This is the thing with
social media. This is what you have to understand about social media. They do not want people to leave their platform. They want them to stay on there because they're making ad revenue from people mindlessly scrolling for hours. They do not want people to leave their platform to visit your website. And you don't own any of those followers.
Yep.
And you'll hear this all the time from bloggers, but it is the truth.
Yep.
It's the truth. I've got a couple of big blogging friends who are really big on Instagram. They do get some traffic, but they love Instagram. They enjoy it. They make a lot of money from it. They make a lot of sponsored money from it as well. So people will pay them a lot of money to make the reels and stuff. And they love it. They understand. They're really good at it. But it's very hard to do that. It's really hard. It takes a lot of time. And the two, my two close friends, blogger friends who do that, that's that's their passion. That's what they love. There's not many bloggers who are good at everything. There are two people that stand out to me out of how many bloggers in the world. The majority of us are better at the website, the geeky stuff, the back end stuff. That's what we're good at. And then it's not just because also what we want to do is we want to keep people on our blog. I want people to click our links and buy the affiliate things so. I think if you want to make money from your blog, if you love social media, great. You don't even need a blog. If you get really good on Instagram, you don't need to have that website. But if you want to be a blogger, you need to get good at the technical side of stuff. And you need to be strategic.
It's a different beast. It's a whole nother beast to kind of tackle and conquer. And I do also have to say, this may make some people feel better. If you are not comfortable with social media and you've been really trying to force yourself to love it because you think it's going to help your blog, or if it's really what you need in order to succeed, rest assured, Claire is saying, I'm saying too, and a lot of the people that I've spoken to who make a lot of money from their website, you don't need to do it. You don't need to force yourself to, right?
To give you an idea, I don't release income reports. I don't really talk about how much money I make in general. But I can tell you, I'm pregnant right now. And so I haven't been working as much as usual. I haven't been traveling. I've been at home. And I think last month I probably hit around $4,500-$5,000.
Wow. Yeah.
And I didn't post a single photograph on Instagram. I didn't post anything on Facebook or Twitter. I didn't pin a single pin. None of it. None of it.
It's all your website
I
SEO.
may have done some stories, but I didn't link anything. Like there was nothing. Like I said, the traffic I get, the small traffic I get from social media is generally other people will find my blog post and they will share it on their social media. It's not from me sharing.
And that's the thing. If you have content that's so good, people will share it. And that's where you can put a lot of your energy in. And honestly, you know, like you mentioned this before, Claire, like social media is great for people. No, I think we mentioned this before recording. Yeah, so it's good for people to look at images, get some inspiration, but not to get real information. That's why they go to blogs and YouTube. And I've heard some people say this before, like blogging is that. I'm like, are you crazy? Like I go on websites all the time to get information. I'm like, wrong, totally
blogging
wrong.
Blogging is alive. You are wrong. I think the market became very saturated on social media.
Yeah.
So there's it's very different. Your perception and the reality of it are very different. So what social media is great for. So I've worked on both sides of this. I've worked with companies in the tourism industry who want to work with influencers. And when they've had big Instagrammers who've got like 100K approach them about collaborations, I'm like, hey, who are their audience? Like get all their figures, because if they're professional, they will know all of this stuff. They'll be able to send you a media pack. And you always have to, like, what are you going to get out of it? Because at the end of the day, Instagram is about visibility. So if you have got the most beautiful hotel that is like Instagram worthy, 100% pay those big bloggers to come and do reels and photo shoots. You might not see that return for your investment straight away. You're going to raise awareness and other people are going to want to book there.
Yeah.
Eventually. But it's like, you know, it has to be a bigger strategy. You can't just get one person to come. You have to like flood social media with these pictures so that everyone wants to come to your hotel. But what I personally, I think Instagram is really good for is that raising awareness. So it's good for an area, a city, a town. Like I'm working with Riviera Nayarit at the moment, the tourism board here. And most people know about Sayulita. But they don't necessarily know about San Blas or Hala or other places. So my main focus, because people aren't searching so much on Google for these places because they don't know they exist. So my first job is I'm going to be just killing it on stories, like flooding Instagram for 2 weeks of all of these pictures of me in these places that people have never heard of. And it's about raising awareness. And then the long game is the SEO. But you're not going to see a return for your investment on those 2 weeks of me flooding the stories. Not really. I mean, not event, you know, you also have to encourage more people. I did a lot of work in Sayulita earlier this year, and I had multiple messages of people like, oh my God, you're going to bankrupt me now. I've just booked a flight to Puerto Vallarta. I want to go to Sayulita. But they're not necessarily going to click on they're not going to, maybe they will check my blog eventually for it, but it's not instant, you know, or it is instant and then people forget about it. Like the long-term strategic way to be a blogger is to get really good at SEO and have those articles because they're on there, they're making you money all the time when you're sleeping. I was able to take a month off pretty much when I found out I was pregnant because I was like just tired all the time. That's it. And in my blog's always making me money because I've put that time in and I've worked in that investment. If I'm an Instagrammer who's making money from sponsored things and collaborative things, I can't take a month off.
Yeah. You're constantly on the go. And that's the beauty about blogging is that you can make it so that it's passive income. And like Claire was saying, she takes a month off and it's still creating income. When she has a baby, she'll take a few months off and it's still going to make income for you.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually what some people do as well, like, is you can sell it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of money too, if it's making money. Yeah.
Like eventually if I decide this isn't what I want to do anymore, because there is upkeep, there is maintenance. You do need to keep, like, you can't just write an article and leave it there forever. You do have to update stuff. Like at least once a year you need to go and update it. So there is always maintenance and upkeep. And if I decide that I don't want to do it anymore, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah. So Claire, can you give us maybe 3 tips for people that would be really great for them to strategize, whether it's they're just starting or maybe they're doing it, and just for upkeep that you were talking about?
So I would say if you are a new blogger, so you haven't got much out there, like just stop what you're doing and learn about search engine optimization. There's loads of really great free resources out there. One of my favorite people, Sharon Goldie, she runs this a Facebook page and a website, Digital Nomad Wannabe. She's got tons of free stuff on there. That's where I learn a lot about SEO. Eventually, you want to invest in someone's course, but to start off with, she's a great place to start. Learn about SEO. Start becoming more strategic, because otherwise you're just wasting your time, basically. Mm-hmm. Which is fine if you just want it to be a hobby. If you want to make money, you need to be focused. If you are a blogger who's been going for a couple of years and you're not making any money, again, stop putting out new content. Learn SEO, go back and edit old stuff. It's already got authority with Google. You just need to make it better. So again, go and find Sharon's Facebook group. She does like link building challenges and stuff. Like it's one of the best groups that I've seen for bloggers specifically. And just be more focused. Be more focused. Like, what is your goal? Where do you want to get to? Do you want to just get an ads network, or do you also want to get affiliate marketing? Because really they go hand in hand. So it's about just going through and editing, like stop putting out lots of new stuff and really focus on what kind of blogger you want to be and who you want to help. And that will really help you to hone that focus as well. You're always going to help everyone. Anyone who comes upon your blog, you're going to help them. But by narrowing it down, you make your voice clearer, and you make like everything's clearer. And that's all that Google's looking for, really, is like really good quality content. That is the key, right? Really good quality content that helps people. And then it helps you by making money.
Exactly. It's like you have to help other people in order to help yourself, which I love that.
Exactly. It's not just about writing it for Google. Like, get that out of your head. Like, you're still writing for human beings, but just hone it in. So hone it in. Stop what you're doing. Go back and edit. If you want to be like, make a choice. Like, make social media a choice. It is good for nurturing relationships. So people who are already fans, people who, I would say that probably more people reach out to me on Instagram than any other platform who've been on my blog, because they'll find me on my blog, they'll read a lot of my stuff, and they'll come and follow me on Instagram. And then normally while they're on the trip, or when they come back, they'll message me on there thanking me, or, so for me, like, I don't mind going on Instagram and like replying to messages and doing stories, but I don't feel super pressured to post on the main feed so much. I don't go on Twitter because I can't bother. I don't like it. Facebook, I don't really bother with either. Like, for me, the one that I find my audience hangs out more on, so than I do, is Instagram. And it is just like making that personal connection for me. It doesn't make me any money. It's nurturing relationships. It's something very different. So I would say if you don't want to be on social media, you really don't have to be. Just make that clear to your audience that, like, you're not on there. Don't feel pressured to be on there. You're not going to you might make money off it, but it's unlikely. So if you don't enjoy it, like, why are you doing it?
Yeah. It's like there's no need to force yourself to do it if you really don't like to do it. Not to say you shouldn't try. I think you should try different things, because you never know, you may end up loving it and try different strategies. But I also don't believe that being on everything is really helpful, because that actually distracts you from being focused on what you really need to do.
It waters you down.
Yeah, absolutely. So you and I are on the same page on that one, because I used to be all over the place and nothing was getting done. And when you start focusing, that's when things start growing.
It's so hard to grow now. Like, I don't know how people manage to get, like, I'm a 20K Instagram. I don't know how people manage to get there now, because when I did it, it was easy.
Yeah,
like,
it was,
like,
right?
Yeah, it really wasn't that hard. And now I'm like, oh my God, no.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Claire, for being here with us. All of your tips were super helpful. If our listeners want to know more about you, where can they find you?
Instagram. I will reply to my messages on there. You're probably more likely to get a response from me on there than you are if you send me an email these days, because they get swamped. But Claire's Itchy Feet. I am on all the social platforms, but you'll never find me on Twitter. I'm there, but I'm not. So if you want to send me a message, you can find me on Instagram, Claire's Itchy Feet. That's my main travel blog. And then also, if you want to come and travel with me, you can find me at Endless Summers Tours on Instagram. That's my new baby.
Love it. I'm so excited for you for that new business. So I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing all of these tips and tricks with us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed this extended interview with Claire. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get the full interview, where she shares how she sold all of her belongings in her 30s to start fresh as a digital nomad. Hey friend, are you looking to land a remote gig ASAP? Well, did you know that we not only have a ton of online jobs you can apply to on our site, but now we're also sending them straight to your inbox. I'm happy to announce that we will be sending our email subscribers legit online jobs every Wednesday. We have done hours of research so you don't have to. If you want to be the first one to hear about the remote gigs we find, go to theoffbeatlife.com to subscribe. Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Life. I'll talk to you soon.